You are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leek.
Together we are
Rope Break.
And I hope all of you are ready for a lot of bullshit because this show absolutely blew. The Friday Night Smackdown, absolutely a show that sucks ass. Jean-Paul, tell me a little bit of how much this show sucks.
I mean, telling you a little bit about this show is all I want to do because, the more we talk about this show, the more ill I'm going to feel because this is just bad. You know, like last week we saw a legit, main event, I thought, with Kevin Owens, just the way he was going after Roman Reigns. Okay, now we're going to see an exciting feud. And I always say WWE finds the most, I can't even think of the words, just like the most unexciting way to present a feud, and that's okay.
They love to, like you said, they love to take away all the excitement. It's this seems good. They might get over it. They might love this. Oh, let's find ways to take that.
Yep, that's what they did. And the only thing that's been strong, and consistent the past couple months is the women's, the main event in the women's division, and that's really the only thing that was good on this show. I thought was
they got
down between Bayley and Sasha and Carmella.
Sasha and Carmella, they had a World of Words, so kind of like a back and forth between the two because they just wanted to set up a match for TLC. More matches are confirmed right now. Patterson, Treat View, also all of that. So overall, the show absolutely suck. But family, what doesn't suck is you guys because all of you support us, all of you are watching the videos, all of you are commenting, are checking all the social media pages. So thank you so very much to every single one of you. And the way that we say thank you is by giving you the best show in WWE NXT UK, and that's shh, right, Jean-Paul? Shh. The Hunt beats Andrews and Webster. So this was a pretty good show. We had a really great main event. And how did you like this?
I love the main event. It was a great match. Rampage, Brown, Saxon, Huxley. The match of the night for me was definitely Joe Coffey, Alexander Wolf. NXT UK. It's an hour of the best wrestling on television, or technically not on television because it's on the network. But go make sure you take an hour out of your week and watch this. It's a fantastic show. And if you don't have an hour, take 20 minutes out of your day and watch Rope Break.
That I take the 20 minutes. You know what? I'm not gonna give WWE a whole hour of my time.
I don't have $10.
No, I don't have $10. Some people say that. We're not gonna mention who, but they said they don't have $10. You know what was really good though? The beginning was SmackDown because of this. We got to see this beautiful woman right here.
And then as soon as she opened her mouth and they started, putting the head of the table's head in her mouth, then then it wasn't good. But no, I
went away. Yep. All her beauty went away. We got to see this jackass right here, right there. 3 jackasses right here.
Now, how insufferable is it that they have they do it because they want it to get under your skin, but it's we're introducing the most dominant superstar of the modern era, the 5-time WWE champion, Intercontinental champion, tag team champion, all this stuff. Main evented WrestleManias. It's why do you have to say all this shit and it's just. That's how you start out every week by pissing off the fans.
Yeah,
every single
Kenny Omega though, for showcasing all the accolades. I'm I'm already done watching this. When I hear that kind of opening.
Yeah, but at least you don't start the show with that. That's AEW. A lot of their fans are marks, even though these past couple episodes have been good. But the thing is though, you're not starting off the show with that Kenny Omega entrance, but with Roman Reigns here, you start off every single week with Roman Reigns just that bullshit in your face. Right. And this isn't good, but like you said, these 3 stooges come out and Kayla goes to ask him questions and Roman is just I can't believe you asked this shit. Who are you? This is, why are you asking me this?
Right there. This Heyman, right there. Come on. Like you said, this is the part of the show absolutely sucks because he acts more of an asshole than he is what already he is because he's an asshole. So he acts more like an asshole, and I'm come on, even Heyman had to introduce him as the old way, with the reigning, defending all of the Brock Lesnar stuff because that belongs to Brock Lesnar.
Know what I was hoping would have happened, or she would have asked him questions, and he kind of would have answered them, but also maybe flirted with her and been oh, I'm gonna bang this chick because all you losers watching at home want to bang her and you can't, so I'm gonna do it, and then we hate him for that. You know what I mean? Be a womanizer to her. but instead he just like belittled her, and then she's like, so
Yeah, pretty much. He said like, "Are you afraid of Kevin Owens?" And he's like, in this moment, that is the most important moment in my life, Kayla. You ask these stupid questions, I will not answer anything. That's pretty much how he was like. And then she has it like if he manipulates Jey Uso, and he's like, no, I don't do that. I'm not that kind of guy that is type of manipulator. I'm just protecting my cousin because 3 months ago he was a nobody. True, that's the only truth right there. And now, thanks to him, or like thanks to me in this case, he has opportunities that are so big, and then like he's constantly in the main event. Another truth. I mean, that's nothing that we cannot deny. But thankfully, I never been Jean Paul a fan of Kevin Owens, but today, I jump in that bandwagon. He finally came out. He went and started the feud with Roman. Yeah, kind of like talking about what happened last week. So I've never been that behind of Kevin Owens. I want Kevin Owens to win and beat this clown's ass more than ever in my life. Right here.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, and I don't want to see him do a short title reign, but I feel like they love Roman. But Kevin Owens, he deserves this. Give Kevin Owens the title now, and maybe do a rematch at Royal Rumble, and then you can give Roman the title back at Royal Rumble. But at least give Kevin Owens something.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Even if it's a short title reign, yeah, that's bullshit. That's only from December. That's only like a month title reign. But it's better than nothing. But I feel like he's just going to be fed to Roman. But you're gonna take us through it. But I really like this promo that Kevin Owens cut.
Yeah, pretty much Owens was just saying like I want to fight right now, but like then Jey Uso grabs the microphone. He's like, okay, let's have a match right now. And he's like, I'm not talking to the boss boy. I'm talking to the head of the table.
Yeah, that was so legit.
That like kind of like, I want to fight with you again, you piece of trash. I want to fight Roman, but Roman kind of like doesn't really respond right away. So he's like, you know what? I have the perfect opportunity, the perfect scenario for you and me to clash, and that is going to be a TLC for the Universal Championship, and let's make it tables, ladders, and chairs. So Roman, finally he accepts because he needs an opponent, because of course he's probably going to be in the main event, and he just says that like he will fight him, right now and everything, but there's a woman, right next to us, so that's what I'm not going to do it. So and then he leaves. He leaves like leaving Kevin Owens just by himself, like kind of like then start playing his music, and then Kevin Owens said, Roman, you living out the ring only shows that you don't have balls, and more than anything, you're just a coward bitch. Right there. I kind of like this. Like I said, I love the intensity from Kevin Owens, and I've never been so behind Kevin Owens in my life. So I want him to win. I want him to kick his ass. I love Kevin Owens right now. I'm the number one.
And I like this. We said, okay, oh God, they got to start SmackDown with Roman Reigns, but at least you ended this segment good with Kevin Owens. But don't worry, folks, because by the time the main event rolls around, you're going to be like, this feud is, I hate this. This is like, they took it the worst way possible.
Yes, absolutely right. And, it's confirmed. Paul, TLC, Table Ladders and Chairs Universal Championship on the line. Roman, the head of the table, not the boss boy, the GM, against, like aspiring assistant manager, Kevin Owens. So at least this is okay, whatever. We knew that this was going to go. And at least it's a feud that, like, it makes sense. That's the one thing, at least TLC, all the feuds are kind of making sense. I'm not going to, like, hate on that because every single feud is making sense. We got a traditional heel against, like, a baby face in Kevin Owens. So I'm happy about that.
Yes.
So, Jean-Paul, let's move on to, like, the tribute of Pat Patterson. Right there. Celebrating the life of Pat Patterson. Of course, like, we're still sad about that. And then they made a 6-man tag. They wanted, like, to showcase that just because, like, all former Intercontinental champions. And, I think it was a good match. I think they showcased this. This is beautiful. This is, a long
I loved seeing the original belt. And I like this idea of the 6-man tag. And this might sound a little mean, but I'm sure WWE kind of liked that this happened in the sense where they're like, oh, now we can take up a chunk of our show. We don't really have to book like a storyline or anything.
Yes, absolutely
we
right.
can just take up a chunk of the show, and the match that we got, it was good, but it could have been a lot better with everybody involved. Like if you really think about it.
So we have 3 faces. We have Rey Mysterio. We have Daniel Bryan. Also, we have Biggie. That he came out with like his all like entrance. Like a different debuting like a new theme song. Really stepping aside from what it is, the New Day. He had the powder right there, so it reminded me a little bit of like Biggie Langston. So that's cool, for, like I said, all former Intercontinental champions going against 3 heels: Dolph Ziggler, Sami Zayn, and also Shinsuke Nakamura. So that was cool. Like you said, the match was like pretty. Like I said, you have all those guys. You could have done so much better, but of course, in WWE fashion, you're not allowed to do that. So I think that like they did this to showcase kind of the baby faces more than anything. And I mean, I was happy with not with the result, but like with the match that we got. I think it was okay.
Yeah, I mean, everybody could have, like I said, everybody could have looked a lot better. You could have had this match in 45 minutes in a 6-man tag, just to have everybody get their spots in if that's what you wanted to do. But that isn't what they wanted to do. They wanted to, just to have like, a feel-good moment for the baby faces, to win. Pat Patterson, I did it my way, all this shit. And speaking of that, am I the only person on this planet who doesn't pop for Frank Sinatra? I could care less about Frank. I feel like everybody loves him except me.
New York is legit. Love and Marriage. I just do that for Ted Al Bundy, or like
Married with Children. That's
Married with Children. Like in Peg and Applegate. Of course, we gotta bring. If Ronaldo brings pop culture, we can do that. This thing, So like that's legit Frank Sinatra for me. My way, nah. Even like Bon Jovi features that on It's My Life. So I think like Frankie said, I did it my way. Okay, there you go. Pat Patterson, like the reference. I mean, like it's not too legit, but like legendary enough. Let's put it in that way.
Yeah.
How about Jean Paul, that counter that Sami Zayn did? Like the Blue Thunder Bomb when like Rey Mysterio was doing like the normal DDT that he always does, like the old school Rey Mysterio, and then he countered into a Blue Thunder Bomb. Really cool. Sami Zayn, when he wants to wrestle, he is a badass wrestler. I don't know how you feel about that.
Oh, you would have said Sami Zayn is one of my favorites. I loved him, in NXT coming up, and I remember, when it was first like, hey, maybe do you want to do rope break? Do you want to do, do you want to be a part of the most legit podcast in the YouTube wrestling community? And really started paying attention to wrestling a lot more. And Sami Zayn was one of the guys that's like, this guy's so legit. Why is, he's not getting the opportunities? And, now he finally is, but, I'm scared that they're going to take the title off him soon. Things that we're seeing in this whole match. Oh, Biggie Langston, or they didn't call him Biggie Langston, but they're like Biggie, when he won the Intercontinental Championship, that's what put him on the map. Even though he was NXT champ, it was the IC champ. They're really trying to get that over, him and the IC champ. They're trying to make that sound like it's something special. So I feel like they're building him up to be the next one to, take it off Sami Zayn, which if that's what they do, I mean, that's fine. But I just hope it's like maybe that's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Let Sami Zayn hold it until Mania. Don't take it off him in like 2 weeks for some like on
Don't take it on TLC.
Yeah.
Don't take it away on TLC. Wait a little bit more. Give me a little bit more build for like what is Sami saying. So even the win that Big E will get, it will be bigger. The moment will be a lot better, a lot more meaningful.
The only thing is I can't see them building an exciting feud, and WWE doesn't care because they don't really care about the storyline in the feud. They just care about putting the belt on the guy that they want. But I don't know if I can really see a WrestleMania worthy storyline between Sami Zayn and Big E.
Oh yeah,
I can't pick. I mean, the match I think will be good, but a storyline. I can't really picture.
I don't think it will be that great. Yeah, absolutely. And see, this is how like Daniel Bryan worked for the faces. Like he rolled him up, like it exchanged a few pin attempts, and you guys saw in the picture also he tried the level lock. Sami was able to at least put his foot on top of the rope, the kind of like a rope break. So there you go. So that was cool. And then you see the baby faces celebrating. I want to put that picture on one time for all of you guys. And then we kind of had another moment where like Dolph Ziggler was left alone, and all the baby faces performed their finishers. The running knee, 619, and the big ending. So we get like a celebration like this. All the 3 of them standing. No, Ziggler pretty much done.
Fucking Ziggler. Ziggler. I love Nakamura. I love all these guys in here. But Ziggler to me he's like the one probably you could argue the most legit wrestler in that ring next to Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
and a joke.
Yeah,
a joke, and it's so sad.
Oh yeah, like it's always, to see like Dolph is more seen as a joke. That's is a really sad thing to watch. Yeah, it absolutely is. So let's go. If you want to keep going and talking about jokes, let's go along with that. And then Roman and Jay, they have a backstage thing, and then pretty much Roman says, whatever happens, there will be consequences for everything. So, it's like we got to focus for the match because they're going to have a tag match against Otis and Kevin Owens. That will be the main event for our night, family. So, like, he's like, hey, there will be consequences, so don't be doing any stupid crap. Let's make sure like we get something
don't
legit
you feel
going.
like Jay acts like a kid? Because he was even said like, yeah, I'm sure Paul, and you guys are mad at me for like speaking out at Kevin Owens, like, oh, I shouldn't have did that, I'm like, he acts like a little kid.
And I don't know what's wrong with the microphone because I can barely hear Roman. Or maybe it's my TV that like my TV knows how much I hate him. So he kind of lowers the volume when Roman speaks because I'm like, what? What?
I was gonna say that you're like Alexa, mute Roman, and they're like, okay, legit.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, legit. What is the name of the girl? Legit
Layla Hirsch.
Yeah, that's the only legit thing. Yeah, absolutely right. So let's go, right now to Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair, like she was in commentary for a match, like the best wrestler in 2020, and that was Bayley because she got a match against Natalia. But I don't know about the result of this. I don't know how you feel about this because
I think you know how I feel.
You go from being the best woman, the best wrestler. Like she won every single match, throughout the whole year. She beat everybody in the roster. Had really great wins. She got a really great match at Hell in a Cell with Sasha Banks. But now, right away you tap to the sharpshooter. So this to me doesn't really make any sense. Poor Bayley. I don't know why they're doing this because like they're really. I don't know. We will never use the word bury, but I think that like they're taking away all the momentum, like, and all like the legitness that she had like a few months ago. So
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say they take away all the legitness. It definitely was awkward because of how Natalia has been portrayed recently, especially on Monday Night Raw before coming over here and then being on SmackDown. She really wasn't portrayed good on SmackDown, and she's a woman who is like, okay, she is one of the most legit wrestlers. But, we all just see what she does on YouTube, and then, she loses all the time, so nobody really takes her seriously. And then to beat a woman like Bayley, when Bayley's supposed to be in a feud with Bianca, and we did kind of see that. Bianca got up, and there was a little bit. But see, there should have been more of a. I'm fine with her getting in the sharpshooter, but it should have been something that, like, maybe Bayley's up on the top rope, and Bianca, like, knocks her down, and then then Natalia grabs her and puts her in the sharpshooter. It should have been more that it's like Bayley was going to win, but then Bianca, kind of screwed her over or something. But then I guess that would make Bianca look like a heel. But I don't know. Bayley just losing to somebody who's not as like,
not even in part of the feud. Like
Natalia. That would be like losing to like a enhancement talent almost. And I hate to say that about Natalia, but it's like she's not a prominent woman on TV. If anything, she should have lost to somebody like Ruby Riott. That would have did more for Ruby Riott.
Or like Liv. Because like for example, they're always on like Talk Smack. Why are you there when you're not even in the show?
Yeah, they're like, how does it feel to not be on the show?
Yeah, that should be the question that like Kayla is asking. How does it feel that you never get booked on the show? So but at least we see that the feud keeps boiling right here. Keeps cooking.
And I hate that she lost to Natalia because she's not going to beat Bianca. It's like, what are you going to do? Like put Bayley over this feud with Bianca?
Yeah,
so it's like, okay, you're going to lose to Natalia, and then you're going to lose to Bianca eventually, and it's like, I don't like that, but
no, yeah, like you said, like they're trying to make Bianca like really like prominent right now. They're trying to give her like a big win so she can start like feeding out of that. So of course Bayley's going to be the one like is going to put like her body for that. She's going to sacrifice. She's going to be the sacrificial lamb for that. So there's another sacrificial lamb, Paul, right there, Kevin Owens. I used to respect Roman. I used to like see him as a leader, as a generous guy. Nice to talk to among the boys. But Paul Heyman changed him, Paul, and now I don't know this man. So, and this is the most awkward moment of the show. I don't know what was this needed. This guy shows up. So,
is that Bruno Mars in a match?
You're gonna hate this, but like I think, I was gonna be like taco. Somebody wants tacos. Like what? I don't know if he was selling.
Even something. Kevin Owens, he's like, we're live, pal. I'm like, did they have to really copy AEW? Like,
look at all of them right there. Look at all of them. Like so. Why?
Kayla looks like she could beat up Kalisto.
I know, like yeah. I mean, the only good thing about this picture is Kayla. Kayla is just from another world. Like she's so beautiful. I think that she's like a pretty decent reporter. She's not, like main event or like great, but I think she's pretty decent at what she does. She knows what she's talking about. She's not like a Charlie, but like Kayla has her own style, and I respect that from her.
Oh yeah, she reminds me right like Kathy Kelly, like when she, remember if you remember her.
Yes. No, I remember Jean Paul. Yeah, I'm not.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you still
yet.
follow on Instagram, so yeah.
Yeah, and that's fine. Finn Balor also follows her, but how he's married, and the Velveteen Dream also follows that. But where all those things went.
Yeah, but Velveteen Dream also follows a Cub Scout troop number,
Yes.
69. But
yes, so also he says Owen says that like he has the right word to describe Roman, but he will not use it because our family and Fox will censor that. So then we got to see two big worlds collide. right here. You see like earthquake and typhoon right here. No. We're not gonna go that route. But like they kind of like just like strategizing for what is gonna happen later on in the match, in the main event. So now let's talk about the best part of the match. Oh, not the match, the show. Words. Right there. Sasha Banks won against Carmella. This was pretty good. Why? Because both girls are pretty decent at promo. Carmella might not be extremely great in the ring, but she has always had great talking abilities. If you don't believe me, believe Corey Graves on that. So there you go.
Yeah, this was really good. I like this a lot, and I like everything that they say. Sasha Banks was saying how she's so legit, and she's wanted to do this for her whole life, and she was like destined to do this. And Carmella was like, I just did this on a whim. One day I decided, let me do this. And I went to the Performance Center, and I was so good at it, I didn't even have to try. And I was already, just as good as you. My one title reign was longer than all of yours combined. And then Sasha's like, well, you only had that title reign, from that guy. He helped you, the guy with no chin. So, that was a good shot at Ellsworth. So just really going back and forth. And she's like, I'm the baddest bitch. And, it was good. And again, to be like, oh, they're copying AEW, or like to just compare wrestling, because that's what we have to do as analysts here, I guess. But
yes, that's
it's just yes. I like this more than like the Jade and Brandy thing, because I thought this was more professional. This wasn't as like ghetto. This wasn't like two bitches beating each other up in the line at Popeyes. This was like it was professional, but it was also intense.
Oh yeah. I like that. Like you said, like also like Mela said, like Sasha, you're jealous because every time that you see me, like your blood is like boiling because you just wanted this from when you were like a little girl, but like I'm superior than you in every single thing. So like
she was like, oh, men want me, all this stuff. But like you and I both said, we would take Sasha. So I don't know, Carmella.
After Corey Graves, I'm not touching that. I don't care how much, how naked she is. I don't care like how much money you give me. I'm not touching that. No, thank you. I have dignity. I have self-respect for myself. I'm sorry if anybody gets offended by that. But hey, I'm allowed to say my own thoughts on that. So pretty much they set up a match at TLC. For this SmackDown Women's Championship, 1-on-1 is the first time that they're gonna face each other. So like and see like wee, see Sasha, wee. She knows she's gonna retake. That's fine. We're all good on that. I like at the end of the promo how like Carmella just like snapped the fingers and then she left, and then that's where like right before Sasha was like wee. So that was good. And like you said, like this feud, I'm looking forward to this. It's gonna be probably a decent match. Why? Because Carmella has grown a lot as a wrestler. Like the super kick is pretty decent, and she has a few moves that is okay. And Sasha is pretty good.
A wrestler in modern day hits a good super kick. I would never guess that.
Oh well, that's the most overdone move in professional wrestling right now. So now let's talk about something that it was like prolonged for so many months now, and now is actually going to like a different twist, and that's our boy Buddy Murphy with Aaliyah and the Mysterios. So Ray pretty much didn't even get a shower. He's like right there, hey, you're out, come on, let's go, we gotta keep going. So they're gonna have a rematch with Baron Corbin or King Corbin, but it's a different thing now because King Corbin promised that he's gonna have security. He's gonna have like help this time, so he doesn't come by himself. And Paul is actually the Forgotten Sons, the two members that actually didn't speak anything bad about Donald Trump or anything good about Donald Trump. So it's actually Carler and Blake. So like it's out he has like company right now. And they have a match, and I think match quality was okay because you always say the same thing about King Corbin. He's a good wrestler, and Murphy the same thing. I enjoyed the time when like Corbin threw him all the way like to like inside of like the Times Keeper area. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Like, he flew like really high in that. He flew really high.
I like this match, and I love the inclusion of the Forgotten Sons. It's like, okay, let's finally do something with these guys. And especially in this feud, because the one is Buddy Murphy's former tag team partner. And then the other one is, Deanna Purrazzo's husband or fiance. So, I mean,
Yes.
hey,
Yes.
so that's pretty cool. So,
Yes.
no, but Wesley Blake, I would love to see a feud with Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy on SmackDown. I think that would be cool. You could especially do something where, because remember, I think Wesley Blake was kind of the one who was after Alexa storyline, in NXT, and then Buddy Murphy was dating her, like real life. So, but then obviously that's not no more. But you could do something where maybe Wesley Blake storyline wise tries to steal Aaliyah away, and that starts a feud. That would be something kind of cool. People like the romance thing. I know you like the soap opera stuff, so
I love
that'd
it.
be something you could do. And speaking of soap opera stuff, like what happened to Dominic? Dominic was a wrestler. He was popular. He was the second last guy in that like weird battle royal they had at the last pay per view, and now he just comes out and he looks like he should be in fucking Vice City selling cocaine. He looks like some kind of like
He looks
drug
like Gerardo, Paul.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm like,
Rico Suave
yeah,
from,
I'm like,
from 1991.
I was like, in this, like, what? I'm like, what is going on with like Dominic? I'm like, yeah, I don't.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was like, I don't get this. But I
No,
mean, this would be good. Okay, so you have three of them. You obviously have Murphy, and the two Mysterios. So this is maybe a feud they're gonna do. So we'll see. And like you have the picture here, King Corbin gets the win. So then that's obviously going to continue.
because they attack the Mysterios, and of course, like Murphy runs into the end of days. I like how like they run into it, and then Corbin just like performs the move 1, 2, 3, and done.
And I love the end of Corbin's the deep six, the end of days, especially because he can like hit them like instantly.
Yes, and and from anywhere, and that's cool. And you can see, I think, is like Blake that he's actually sniffing. Corbin is like, dude, did you shower today? He's like, what the hell is going on there? But like you see that, and this is like you said, good staple, and you already booked it. It's in your head. You don't even have to try, but you already did. So they're gonna have like a three-man tag. These two guys finally, the Forgotten Sons. They're finally back.
But the only thing I'm going to say is like, because I know WWE is like they love having guys wrestle in like the stupidest fucking clothes. I hope they don't have them wrestle in that exact gear we see right there.
Oh well, yeah.
So I hope they can actually just put on like their normal ring gear.
Yeah, so
we'll
that will not be. Yeah, I just hope that they don't do that. And like kind of like remember what Carmella said about Sasha. You're just like a Nicki Minaj wannabe. So that I just gotta throw that there because actually it was a good line. They have like good lines for that feud that is coming up. So this is like, what do you think about this? Like the Street Profits were cutting a promo, kind of talking about what's going on with the Mysterios, what's going on with Carmella and Sasha. Kind of like remember when they were doing the newscast. I'm like, come on, guys, can you just focus on your own thing?
Can you focus on being tag team champions?
Yeah, can you focus on being tag and like fam or they don't want that smoke. I mean, like I said, Street Profits, I'm not a big fan of them. I'm sorry.
You know who does want the smoke? Jean-Paul Conan in the Inner Circle.
Yeah, that's true. That's legit juice. I will use or like butter for for a friend that we know, that from a friend of the house, legit butter. So like at least we get to see two legit tag teams or like tag team specialists, Cesaro and Bobby Roode or Robert Roode, and they're kind of arguing.
Cesaro and Beer Money.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I want to see Beer Money. You know that's my dream. So like you kind of see that they're gonna have another three-way tag here. Because I feel that like that's gonna be a match at TLC. It's gonna be Ziggler and Roode, Cesaro Nakamura, and the Street Profits for the titles, which is fine. Hopefully, one of the heels ended up getting the titles because the Street Profits had a run that like I think that like nobody can remember. It's not remarkable whatsoever. So I want one of these teams to get those titles. They didn't set up anything, but you see that they're working towards it.
Yeah, and see that's the thing. I believe it was last week where Robert Roode and Ziggler beat the Street Profits, obviously non-title. But then it's like, okay, build some momentum. That could be the feud. Both, like I said, Ziggler's one of the most legit guys on this roster. Bobby Roode is, a complete wasted potential on the main roster so far. And, but they beat them, and it's like, okay, it starts to look good, getting a little something here. And then we see what they did to Dolph Ziggler a couple segments earlier. Complete joke. He looks like a loser. And now we're supposed to believe Bobby Roode here when he's like, oh yeah, we should beat you guys.
We beat you last week. Oh yeah, but your guy was just pretty much Your guy was jobbed out.
Yeah, now Cesaro makes a case because him and Nakamura are legit, and Nakamura didn't look like a clown in that previous match. So yeah. I don't know. I'm excited for this. If you ask me which team should win, I mean, I really don't like any the teams to be the tag champs, but the team that I don't have really any issue with, and I like the guys is Nakamura and Cesaro, but I don't think they're going to give the belts back to them again.
I mean, I will be okay with that, or I will be okay like Rude and Ziggler.
I mean, yeah, you got to take it off. You got to take it off the Street Profits. But if I'm looking at it from just like who deserves it, it's none of these teams.
Oh, neither one, because they're not fighting for it.
Yeah,
like I said, like WWE has this thing that like they don't build. Like you don't see like we said week in week out. Like they keep getting wins. It's just one win.
Yeah, it's not like Ziggler and Rude they beat I know they're on Raw, but like they beat the Lucha House Party, or like they beat Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan. Oh, they beat Nakamura and Cesaro. Oh, well, look how many tag teams they beat. Okay, now give us a title shot.
Spot,
yeah,
or like you always say this line. They can lobby for a title opportunity. And right here, you just win one time. I'm
gonna keep saying it until WWE does it with every freaking person. Jake Atlas, you win a match, boom, give me the mic. Hey, I'm going to keep winning, and eventually this title is going to be mine.
Yeah,
boom, done.
Purpose. We always say it, purpose. This is, and what doesn't have any purpose is this main event. Kevin Owens and
thank
Otis.
God we're at the main event already.
Yeah, thank God.
Here we go.
Baby Jesus and all the angels on earth in heaven. This was actually okay. I feel that the match didn't have any purpose, but like what happened now after the match, that was actually what really was meaningful, or what they wanted to like make us think it was meaningful, and that was like Jey Uso and started fighting like Otis and Kevin Owens, because Roman comes out whenever he wants. That's the narrative, right? That's what they want to tell us. That he comes out in his own time, he does what he wants, and pretty much Jey's just live at his own mercy, and that's what we have. And he ended up coming out and he takes Otis right away. But he beats the crap out of Otis. He grabs like even the steel steps and he's really kicking the crap out of poor Odie. And like you said, he looks like a fool. He didn't deserve.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okay, so it's like Otis. I mean, like kayfabe, he's banging Mandy Rose. He has Money in the Bank briefcase. They're pretty much the world is his oyster, as the saying goes. And then now look at him, a complete loser.
Yeah,
complete loser.
Otis was the opposite of like everybody else's like 2020, because he started out so legit, so on fire. Mandy, WrestleMania, like all of those things. Money in the Bank. Slowly towards the end of the year, he absolutely wind down.
And then his best friend turned on him. He lost his girl.
Lost everything. I got everything. Then I got nothing. Then I got everything. But so he gets taken out of the match, and then what is the other guy remaining is Kevin Owens. So they did the same thing with him. At some point in the match, Jey Uso was about to do the Uso splash, and Roman is like, "Hold on, don't do it. It's fine." And kind of like Kevin Owens wanted to have like a comeback. He ended up hitting the stunner, but he falls into this fall. Boom. Guillotine. It's like the show sucks, Roman, right? Yeah, he does suck. So Kevin Owens ended up passing out. So, okay, you're already telling me that he's going to beat Kevin Owens at TLC with this. But this was not the end, because actually he kind of like received a lot of concertos. War of chair shots. There you go. Boom. Like he got his ass kicked handed to him. I just want to say, like, there was so much violence in this chair shots. Reminded me a little bit of what they did with like Dominic with the candlesticks, but like it was just bad. Like he got his ass kicked, and after that, Roman actually is not over with that. He actually attacked Jey also. So
yeah, that's when they were beating down Kevin Owens, it was just like, oh my God, you don't want to be like, oh, they're really burying this guy, because then hopefully now Kevin Owens. Because it's going to follow like the same thing like Stone Cold. They always beat the shit out of Stone Cold, but then the next week is when he shows up, with the 18-wheeler and he runs you over with the tractor trailer and, or beats you up with the bedpan when you're in the hospital or, whatever. So Kevin Owens is going to get his revenge next week. We're definitely going to see that. Or hopefully he gets his, the last laugh at the pay-per-view and wins the match.
That would be awesome.
But the thing that like really made me just go, this show is so fucking stupid and he just beats up Jey Uso.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And where's Jimmy?
Yeah.
With like the past couple of weeks, we haven't seen his brother. Like, where is he? His brother was at least the voice of reason somewhat. Now, like, where is he?
Oh yeah, like that was so dumb. Like I said, like that was so dumb. And then he grabs Kevin Owens, and right there was right next to Jimmy. And he goes, now you wanted my attention, Owens. You messed with my family and you disrespected me. Now that you're destroyed like never before, I know you wanted my attention. You have it, and I will end you. I will take everything away. I will take everything that you have away. So you see right there, because I cannot even hear him. Because again, my television is muted when he talks. I gotta do my best job in like reading lips. But like that's why we have Paul, and then boom. That's the standing tall once again, like every single SmackDown, and that's why the ratings will keep going lower and lower till they sink. I'm not a fan of this feud, like you said. Like it doesn't make any sense that he hits Jay. At least kind of build some kind of like see, Seth Rollins never beat Buddy Murphy, and that was supposed to be the disciple. So isn't kind of like the same narrative right there?
Yeah, and it because like I said, if you do this is to lead where Jay goes, enough is enough, fucking super kicks him, you have the feud, and Jay becomes the champion. But they did that in the beginning of the feud, and Jay didn't win.
Yes.
And now he's the lackey. But now that he's the lackey, Roman should be like, okay, you're my lackey, not you're my punching bag.
Yes.
So this is I don't know who booked this. I don't know who
produced this segment.
I mean, we know it's Vince has the final say, or at least has some very strong input. But this is just bad. I mean, if it ends with Kevin Owens winning, legit, then I don't care how we got there. But at least we got there. But I don't see it happening. So to me, it's just a whole waste. SmackDown is just is a waste of time. And the only thing you should really watch on is the women's division.
Yeah, the women.
And even that, they're fucking up with Bayley losing all the time.
Oh yeah, well, like we said, like the best wrestler in 2020 will start like loses to the sharpshooter when like she's never tap out to that before. Now she did,
and so pretty quickly too. We
yes,
should say.
nothing even like all of a sudden like you were done. You were like doing some shots or anything the day before that was your like hangover, and that's why you couldn't even like sustain yourself for like a whole like that. That's what happened, family. This is the review for the show. Thank you so very much for watching it, for like all the comments that you give us, and let us know what you really think about. Are we okay with Roman Reigns or what we're saying, or you guys love this storyline? So please let us know. Paul, where they can find us in the social media world.
You can find us on Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, and of course the Original Rope Break right here on YouTube for the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community.
Don't forget, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. We have always tons of content. Sunday is NXT TakeOver War Games, so we'll be right there talking about like the best, like you said, the best matches. Like the War Games matches are going to be the main dish. Even Triple H says today, is like the women's division is untouchable, and that's the only word.
Speaking of Triple H, I saw a rumor where now I didn't click the report to read where he said this, but something where. So we're not opposed to working with other, groups and come. I'm like,
yeah, but you know what he said though? In 10 to 15 years. So what does that say? He's saying let the old man die, and he's all legit, and I'll be in charge. That's what he's saying.
He probably has Tony Khan in his phone as like Pizza Hut, Pizza Hut. He texts him and like he's like, oh, like no, I'm just texting Pizza Hut. I'm just ordering pizza, and he's like, hey, like in 10 years, do you want to book this?
Yeah,
do you want to do that? Like,
let him die, and like we'll talk. Like it's all good. So family, thank you so much, Jean Paul. There's only one more thing that is left to say, and that is.